Going to the bush and camping is a lot of fun. It is something to remember. It is something to spend time with friends, family, and just get out and about and forget about all the problems that you may have had in the city center such as Cape Town. And even in the residential areas, it's a site that you will not easily come across unless you go out and enjoy it and go to the bush and have the fun. But is camping really expensive as what people make it out to be? Well, in this video we're going to break it down and show you that camping is not as expensive as what people make it out to be. Let's get into this video. So let's ask the question that everyone's got on their minds, and probably the most important question out of them all. Is camping as expensive as people make it out to be, and as social media makes it look like? Well, yes, but also no at the same time. It all depends on the type of camping that you want to do and how you want to camp. But it is also technically only the beginning part of camping that is expensive. Thereafter, it is actually very reasonably priced and can actually be cheaper in the long run than always going camping at tented camps or pre-made up caravan parks where you only have to bring your clothes. So what we're going to do in this video today is I'm going to go through some cheap camping equipment that you can buy that's decent, and the total price of that to start off camping, as well as then the more expensive side of camping, because obviously, like we did as the AdventureSparks team, we started off camping with nylon tents, sleeping on the ground with a sleeping bag, and that was still the most amazing memories of my life. But obviously we progressed from that and got to where we are now with our camping vehicles. Now, nylon tents are very amazing tents, but obviously are cheaper tents and are less durable than other tents like rooftop tents or hardshell tents or canvas tents like the Tentco Sahara Senior canvas tents. But with that comes a price change. So let's go through a very basic setup to start off camping with a cheap setup. So how I've set up these costs is working off two people going camping. Say couples, for instance, going camping. So obviously two of everything besides the tent. So you're going to need a basic two-sleeper tent. This is now a nylon tent, which is going to start off for a decent one at 1,995 Rand. Moving on from there, you'll need two cheap camping folding chairs for ease of packing in the car, and they will sit at about 199 Rand per chair. So you're looking at 398 Rand for two. Then you're going to need some cheap cutlery. So let's work on 29 Rand for one set, knife and fork, so obviously double that. Then you'll need pots and pans, which will be 179 Rand for pots and pans. Then you obviously need torches, something to look at night. You can't be walking around in the dark not knowing where you're going. And that can set you back about 69 Rand 99 per torch for a cheap decent torch, which will then be 139 Rand and 98 cents. Then sleeping bags. Now each sleeping bag has got different temperatures that it can withstand. So obviously with these sleeping bags, the beginner budget sleeping bags, they're not going to be able to withstand the temperatures that you'll get in Sutherland, but they'll definitely be able to withhold and withstand the temperatures that you'll get on the west coast when the wind blows through, or when you've got that icy breeze coming through the tent. Now basic budget beginner sleeping bag can be anything at 279 Rand per sleeping bag, which is 558 Rand per, or for both sleeping bags. And obviously you want comfortability, you want to be comfortable camping, so an inflatable camping mattress is going to be 310 Rand per mattress, which is going to get you to 622 Rand for two. Now basically, to break it down, a tent is going to set you back 1,995 Rand, 398 Rand for chairs, 29 Rand for cutlery, 179 Rand for pots and pans, torches at 139 Rand 98 cents, sleeping bags at 558, and mattresses at 620. That brings your grand total up to 3,918 Rand and 98 cents. So again, not bad. It's not a bad price for starting off camping equipment, which you can then build on and appreciate what you get in the future, or appreciate where you've come from, as well as to start off and see how you want to camp and what you need to camp the way you want to camp. Now obviously this price can differ from expensive to cheap depending on person to person and household to household, but this for a start of camping price is really not that bad. You get everything that you need, your basic necessities, and then you can go from there. Now for those of you that are thinking this is quite expensive for a starting price, let's move on to the more and most expensive side of camping. So for those of you that thought that price of the cheap camping equipment was really expensive, well, think again, because here is the expensive side of camping. So Tenco canvas tent that can last you quite a while with a lot of cool things inside of it can set you back 15,995 Rand. Then you obviously want comfortable folding chairs that are a lot more durable and a lot more comfortable than those cheap ones. That can be 1,796 Rand for two. Then mattresses, comfortable, durable, and have got a lot of more functionalities to it at 3,998 for two. Sleeping bags that will be able to withhold that Sutherland icy cold weather and the breezes that come through, or the gusts of wind that blows today, sitting at 5,598 Rand for two. Then you obviously need pots and pans for the most decent, most durable, and probably the best pans that you can get in camping. It'll cost you about 1,699 Rand. Then plates, knives, forks, spoons, everything you'll need to eat at 258 Rand, the cheapest thing on this list. And then obviously your torches. Now these are drop resistant to a certain height, waterproof, and everything that you can imagine, rechargeable batteries by USB-C, sitting at 1,740 Rand for two. That brings your grand total of this camping equipment up to 31,084 Rand. That's insane, and that's even for me, that coming from me, that is insane to start off camping with that amount of money. But that is what it will cost for the most durable and the best camping equipment out there. But as I said, this is not taken off the most expensive stuff that you can get, and not always will it be this expensive when you actually go look for the more expensive stuff. But like I said, it depends from person to person what it is that you are looking at getting. So now that you know how much it costs to start off camping and what the differences are, let's talk about it for a second. So obviously, now that we know the differences in prices, I mean, going from 3,000, almost 4,000 Rand, all the way up to, let's call it 31,000 Rand, is quite a massive price drop. But now, like, you must be wondering what I'm wondering, why is the price so different? And why is the difference so extreme? Well, it's pretty simple. The cheap side and the more cost-worthy and cost-effective camping equipment is not always necessarily worse than the expensive equipment. It is also not always the best than the most expensive. It all depends on how you use it, what you're using it for, and how you want to go camping. Now, there's some cheap equipment that I still use because it works better than I find than the more expensive equipment, and also I find that it works for me, that I don't have to pay the extreme prices of the extremely expensive equipment. It all depends on what you're looking for. There's certain things that you do not cheap out on, and there's other things that you really don't need to go for the most expensive on. Now, sleeping bags, let's take them for an example. It all depends on where you're going. If you're going for a weekend trip with a family, quickly down the coast, you really don't need sleeping bags that can withhold, say, minus 15 or even minus 20 temperatures. You're not going to need that, so you don't need the most expensive. But if you're going to be going to bush where you're going to have thorn trees scraping against your tent, you're going to have gusts of wind blowing, then a canvas tent is maybe better for you than a nylon tent. You have the opportunities to mix and match between equipment to see what works for you. The price range is so extreme and it jumps so much because of brands, current rates and prices, time of year, as well as the needs and wants for the equipment. So it all depends on what you're looking for. Now, since we've got and figured out how much it costs to start off camping, as you can see, it really isn't that bad, or it really is that bad. It differs from person to person. But once you've got the equipment and you have everything sitting in your hands and you can pack the car and go, camping suddenly becomes a lot less expensive and actually a lot more cheaper, especially in the long run. If you are currently going camping to a lot of tented camps and you enjoy it and you want to branch out to camping, it actually works out cheaper in the long run to be able to go camping with your own equipment. And this is because you are going camping with your own equipment, and campsites are really not that expensive. The only thing that is expensive about camping, and that also varies from person to person, is the starting off. So let me show you two of my favorite campsites that I go to regularly and show you the difference between campsites and the pricings that you will get at campsite. So let's start off with the closest to Cape Town city centre at Azefontein Caravan Park. This is an amazing, and I mean amazing, starting off campsite to go to, especially when you're starting off camping. It is half bush, half sea. You get the best of both, and literally almost only 5 minutes outside of town, which is really convenient if you've forgotten something. Now, campsites normally work on seasonal periods, like Azefontein does. In season period is from the 1st of December to the 31st of January, where prices may differ. Now, stands that you will pay for. So a stand at Azefontein, you'll be able to get 2 vehicles and 4 persons per stand, which is really not bad. So out of season, you're looking at 461 Rand per night for 4 people and 2 vehicles plus electricity. That is awesome. And then in season, you're looking at 612 Rand per night for 4 people and 2 vehicles plus electricity. It's really awesome, and the pricing is really not bad for what you're getting. That means that you and your mates or you and your family can go out and enjoy an amazing time together in, well, basically with Azefontein in the bush and on the beach. It's amazing. The type of facilities that Azefontein has is electricity, lighting, as well as having a place for you to wash your washing and clothes, as well as obviously your cutlery, as well as nice and amazing bathrooms and toilets. It's got a place for kids to play on, a playground, and it is really a nice campsite. Now, my other favorite campsite that I love going to is a little bit further down the west coast, but absolutely stunning, and this is where you'll start to see the differences from campsite to campsite, as well as prices from why the prices differ in camping. And this is the hut in Mariatsburg, and wow, this is my absolute favorite campsite to go to when I go camping, because I've just fallen in love with it and what you can do. So when you get there, you'll have to pay 180 Rand per person per night, which is really not that bad. On your stand, you will then, with that amount of money that you have paid, be able to have your own private shower and toilet and basin, as well as, if you are willing to pay 150 Rand more per day, you'll get your own wood-fired hot tub. That is amazing. As you've probably seen in our previous videos where we went to Mariatsburg, you will have seen the campsites that they have there and the campsite that we had, and you'll just understand how amazing this place really is. It is awesome. Now, the only thing that you might have to take in consideration is that if you are camping on ground tents, which if you're starting off, you probably will have, it is 100 Rand extra per tent per night if you're going to be camping on the ground. Otherwise, if you have got a rooftop tent, that 100 Rand doesn't apply. But even with this, it is amazing. You also get a restaurant, swimming pools, and a bar there at the place, as well as an amazing walking route and hiking route through the farm. It is stunning. So now we've obviously had a look at expensive and cheap camping and camping as a whole, and whether or not it is expensive or not. Now, as I said, the pricings will obviously differ from person to person and household to household. What is expensive for me might not be expensive for another person. What is cheap for one person might not be cheap for another. It's okay. It all depends on how you're going to go camping and how you want to spend your time camping, and to make sure you enjoy it whilst doing it. Now, I can comfortably say that when I go camping with the kit that I've got, I always find myself coming back relaxed and re-energized and full of energy and ready for the week forward. It is something to do with the family, and it is really worthwhile, and I cannot say enough good things about camping. It is really something and a way to go relax, recuperate the energy that you might have lost over the last month, and come back feeling re-energized and ready for the next way forward. Camping may be expensive, but to start off somewhere, it is really not bad. All you need to do is just buy a simple tent, and you could basically go, the sky's the limit. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you really enjoyed this, please hit the like and subscribe button. We're on the road to hit 100 subscribers by the end of this year, so please help us out hit that mark. And if you want to see more videos like this, click on the link below to go see the rest of our channel and our next upcoming trips. And don't worry, if you're wanting to see the campsites that I have mentioned here, I have left their links in the description, so you can go check out their websites. Until then, I can't wait to maybe see you, some of you guys on the road and at future campsites. But until then, keep that spark for adventure going, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.